good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time of day you're watching this video, so all three to you. First and foremost, welcome. I am extremely excited to have you on here listening. I am extremely excited to be here hosting these 3 days with you. My name is Adriana, and I've been part of this company for the past 2.5 years. And what I want you to do today is just listen. Open your heart, open your mind to what can be and what you can create for your life. I'm here today to introduce myself, to give you just a backstory on who I am and how I ended up here, what point in my life got me here. So I'm gonna start because I know you're anxious, I know you're curious, I know you're skeptical, and I was there too. I was skeptical, I was anxious, I was curious, and what is this all about, and why, right? So I'm going to take you back to when I first started my health and fitness journey, and that was back in 2013, where I suffered a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. And if anyone's ever had an anxiety or panic attack, it's the feeling of impending doom. You literally feel like your whole life and your world is falling apart. So I'm gonna make a very long story short, just to condense it and get to the point, right? So I would call the ambulance all the time. I drove my husband crazy, and I finally went to the cardiologist. Now the cardiologist did all these tests on me because I could have sworn something was wrong with me. And he basically told me to make an appointment with myself. And I said, I don't understand what you mean. And he goes, because if you don't know already, and if you haven't followed my IG, I own a preschool. And so he told me, can you get away from your business for 30 minutes a day? Is it going to fall apart? And I said, no, it's not going to fall apart. It really isn't. He goes, well, you need to be active for 30 minutes a day. I said, if you're talking about exercise, yeah, that's not for me. It's not going to happen. I do not exercise like that, NERP, right? So long story short, I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I signed up at the local YMCA. Now, if you've never been to a local YMCA, it's usually silver sneakers, meaning anyone 65, 70 years old and older. So, you know, it was interesting, but I was there for 30 minutes a day, the longest 30 minutes of my life. So long story short, I met a girl there who, she looked amazing. And I said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? She said, oh, I went to go see this trainer, blah, blah, blah. This is still not the story. So sure enough, I go see the lady who who gave her this body, right? And I signed up at the gym. I signed up at the gym in March of 2014, and in September, I decided I was going to do bikini competitions. So for 4.5 years, I did bikini competitions. I was in that world. Now, if you don't know that world, it's very different than your regular gym membership, right? That world can become very toxic. That world is an extreme world. The exercises are extreme. The dieting for that specific look is extreme. And it's a very judgy world, meaning, you know, like to them, I'm obese. I'm completely obese to them because you're expected to look a certain way, and it messes with your mind. It's a lot of mind power. So long story short, it was my place. It used to be my place where I released stress, where my anxiety was gone. It was my escape, right? And all of a sudden it became the most torturous place in the world. It no longer served me. I didn't want to be around those people. I didn't want to be around people telling me what to do, how to do it, and, you know, so it became very an ugly place to go to. And I already knew what Beachbody was. I was familiar with the products. I was familiar with Shakeology, with P90X, because my husband did it before I even joined the gym. And I used to make fun of him, who's laughing now, right? So I was already familiar with all those products. However, I didn't know that there was a business tied to it, but I'll get to that. Long story short, I was spending a crazy amount of time at a gym, meaning between 4 and 5 hours a day. And that time was time spent away from my family, time spent away from my husband, time spent that I didn't enjoy with my children. And not only that, being in that world takes you to a different avenue, meaning I couldn't go out with my children because mommy couldn't eat that food. I couldn't do this because mommy couldn't go because she had to do an hour of cardio. I couldn't do this because mommy couldn't. So I saw myself distancing from what mattered to me most, which is my family, right? And I needed to find a way to get it back, because the way I look at it is I had a decision to make, or a decision was going to be made for me, meaning I was going to lose my family. So enter this crazy comment my upline coach put on Facebook. Had nothing to do with coaching, had nothing to do with a sneak peek or anything in regards to the business. It was just something that she said that just hit my gut. And I don't know, knee-jerk reaction, I just replied, interesting. Or it could be me someday, or something of that nature. I believe that was a Monday, and by Thursday we were meeting, and by the end of the day I had signed up as a coach. Did I know what I was doing? Absolutely not. I didn't even know this was a business. I already had a business, but I wanted to pay it forward. My love for health and fitness and how it made me feel, not take away the equation, the people, the scenario where I was, how it made me feel as a human being, how it took away my anxiety and my panic attacks and made me feel amazing. I needed to pay that forward in another platform, because I wasn't doing anything for them. I wasn't doing anything for me. I was just doing it for that particular thing. I wasn't leading a healthy lifestyle. I was simply doing a temporary thing, right? So here I was. I had no idea what a sneak peek was. I had no idea what a challenge group was. I had no idea what a challenge pack was. I had no idea, other than I know who these trainers are and I know what the shakes are. That's it. That's all I know. You know, that's all I know. And I just want people to be happy. And I want people to live a healthy and fulfilling life. And that's what I did. That's what I did. And that's all I talked about. That's all I talked about. I want to live healthy. Join me. I want to live healthy. Join me. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here today to talk to you about the opportunity, how I made this a business for me, how I created an additional stream of income for me, my family, my husband, how I can imagine in 5 years from now that I can be home completely with them, that I can create that freedom where I can be with them all the time. He probably will hate me by then, but all kidding aside, it's where I can create the life of my dreams, right? So again, I want you to say yes to fitness. I want you to say yes to a healthy lifestyle. I want you to say yes to the opportunity, but mostly I want you to be excited. I want you to be ready. I want you to listen with open eyes, heart, and mind, and truly, truly think of the possibilities that this can bring to you and your family. Write it down. Think about where you can be in 5 years from now. Write it down and say, I want to be here, and visualize that, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you that. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening. And you'll be seeing me for the next 2 days, where we'll get a little bit more in depth of what we do and who exactly I'm looking for. So again, thank you. My name is Adriana. Please reach out. Any questions, anything I didn't cover in my intro. But again, this is only my intro. We have 2 more days to dig deep into what this is all about. and I look forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful evening, morning, or afternoon.